gentlemen, you try to sneak a win, but you want every opportunity that you can. Good fighters, great fights. That's the mantra over at Probox TV.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this special presentation of proboxtv.com. Quorum Cordoba Hotel, the site of this fight card. South America's best fighters, up-and-coming fighters, featured here on proboxtv.com from Cordoba in the land of the world champions, Argentina. I have to say that, or else my Argentine friends will not forgive me, as in association with Samson Boxing and Deo Box, a great night of fights here in Argentina on Probox TV, your boxing channel, where we promote good fighters and great fights. I'm George DiMattelis, alongside two-discipline world champion, boxing and world boxing champion Chris Algieri, and looking forward to a great night of fights, starting with the Argentine native of Cordoba, Ckari Mansilla, going up against the Mexican Alexis Rearte in a 6-round bout in the super featherweight division. And this should be an exciting matchup between those two fighters. Mansilla is looking to improve his record to 16-2 with 11 KOs so far, 15-2 with 11 KOs so far. He's a little older than Rearte and shorter, but both weighing in at 130 pounds at the super featherweight division. This should be an exciting matchup. Rearte coming into this fight known as Zurdito, and he's 8 wins, 8 losses, and 1 draw. Here's the official fighter introductions.
Barrio de Argüello en Córdoba capital, Ckari Mansilla.
So Ckari Mansilla has a strong contingent of faithful supporters with him, going up against the other Argentine Zurdito, Alexis Rearte, who's essentially a 500 fighter now. 8 wins, 8 losses, and 1 draw. Here's the first round here from the Quorum Cordoba Hotel in Cordoba, Argentina. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here. George DiMattelis alongside Chris Algieri. And Mansilla coming out in the white and green trunks and the red gloves, and Rearte in the solid black trunks with the yellow gloves. Scheduled 6 rounds in the super featherweight division, 130 pounds. And both fighters, obviously, the first 30 seconds or so are going to be a bit of a filling out period here.
Rearte, nicknamed Zorrito,
yep.
little lefty, comes out southpaw. No surprise there. Mansilla looking to take control of the center of the ring. Has his southpaw opponent on the outside, looking for openings.
Last fight for Mansilla, the fighter in white and green, was March 20, 2021. So it's been a while, over 2 years since he's been in the ring. That was at super bantamweight at 122. It was a split decision loss against Hector Sosa in 10 rounds. And he was knocked down twice in the second round. So Mansilla trying to bounce back from a disappointing result his last time in the ring. Meanwhile, Rearte a bit more busy. His last fight back in May of 2023 at 126, unanimous decision over Christian Blanco. That was a 6-round fight.
And that's a great point, George, about Mansilla being out of the ring. He does look tentative. I was thinking that initially, that he's very tentative. He hasn't thrown a lot of punches yet. A little unsure of what he wants to do in there. Having a southpaw in front of you can make you feel that way sometimes, especially one who's been active when you haven't.
Mansilla, sure, maybe not used to fighting southpaw, so this is something that he has to figure out, even with the video study and everything. Still has to kind of figure it out in the ring. Good little combination there by Zurdito. Mansilla, the native of Cordoba, so fighting in his hometown, and Rearte, the native of La Rioja, who, if I remember correctly, La Rioja is known for its wines. If I'm not 100% sure, someone might have to correct me on that. Rearte tries to counter with the right.
You know, and Rearte, even though he is a southpaw, he is circling the wrong direction. He's circling into the power hand of Mansilla, which is moving into that left side. Which, when you're a southpaw, you want to do that. You want to move outside the lead foot of your opponent. Keep your foot on the outside. Keep sliding that way. Move away from the power hand, the rear hand. Rearte quite a few times this round is going the opposite direction.
Yeah, Rearte, 8 wins, 3 by knockout. And looking to improve his record past 500 for lack of a better term. Under 10 seconds left here in this first half. Good exchange by those two. In the first round, a bit of a filling out process between these two fighters, Mansilla and Rearte. And we'd like to remind you that the best live action fights are here on proboxtv.com. It's Wednesday, September 6th, the main event. William Foster III, undefeated, going up against Misael Lopez. Chris, you're going to be there with Paulie Malignaggi and the great Mike Goldberg live on Probox TV from the Plant City Event Center. And the other co-main event, Radovoj Hot Rod Kalajic. I've been practicing that name for a while, going up against Mickey Ellison. Also, Manuel Marquez is going to be in the building on the Spanish side as well. And it's proboxtv.com, your boxing channel. George DiMattelis alongside the champ Chris Algieri, and looking forward to seeing what happens in the second round. Who did you see winning that first round?
You know, it was a very tentative round for Mansilla. It would be hard to give him the round. He just didn't throw enough punches in my eyes. Not that Rearte did all that much, but he was more active. And I mean, you have a round when neither guy really did too much. I prefer the guy who's more active in making the action. So I'm going to give that round to Rearte.
I'm sure his corner will be happy he said that. Yeah.
And we'll see. Still a lot of fight to go.
Yeah, definitely. This one is scheduled for 6 rounds here in the super featherweight division. Is round 2 about to begin here in Cordoba. I wonder if Mansilla is a Belgrano Instituto or Talleres fan. Maybe we'll find out later. We'll see. Is round 2 underway. Rearte, El Zurdito in the all-black trunks with the yellow gloves, and Mansilla in the white and green trunks with the red gloves. First round in the books, and second round, let's see if we'll have a little more action here.
Already, even just looking at the body language, Mansilla looks a lot more comfortable. He's coming forward. He threw a big left hook to start, threw a couple jabs. Haven't seen many right hands from him, which is interesting because he's fighting a southpaw. That's the usual lead weapon that you're going to use against a southpaw, but Mansilla going to that left hook first.
Mansilla, before that last fight, he had a 12-fight winning streak, and he won 9 of those by either knockout or technical knockout. So he's got some power there. Of his 15 wins, 11 have been by way of knockout. So he definitely has some power in those hands. Meanwhile, Rearte has never had a fight scheduled for longer than 6 rounds in his 17 professional fights coming into this one. So we'll see if he gets pushed to the limit here.
There's a good right hand there from Mansilla, setting that shot up, which I like that. He's using that left hand to walk his man into the right. Good uppercut there as well.
Couple good body blows by Mansilla.
And George, you had mentioned the power and the knockout percentage for Mansilla. You can hear his shots. He's got some heavy hands. He looks like a physically strong guy, which is why he might have been so tentative in that first round, because he understands that he's got that power.
So we're halfway through the second round here, and a little bit more of the letting go of the hands here, more so from Mansilla.
Yeah, much less tentative this round. Mansilla sees what the path is. I'm not sure maybe if his corner gave him the instruction, he needs to be busier, or if it's just a comfort thing. Like you said, he's been out of the ring for quite some time, but now he seems to have his footing underneath him.
And Mansilla moving up in weight class for this fight. As I mentioned, the last fight he was at 122. Oh, good exchange there. As you said, Chris, you can hear those shots from Mansilla, those gloves connecting.
Very different power between these two. Mansilla definitely the heavier handed of the two. When they exchange, he's getting the better of it.
Both fighters, some wide punches coming in for both fighters there. Not afraid to exchange in the middle of the ring. Mansilla, good left hand to the body.
Yeah, it does seem, though, that Rearte is fighting off the back foot. He's being forced into a fight as Mansilla is starting to pour on the pressure here in round 2.
And that concludes the second round here in Cordoba, as the Cordoba native applying a little more pressure here in this second round. Looking to see and find those openings against Alexis Luis Rearte. Second round second round go to Mansilla in that one?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he put a lot of pressure on. His power was coming through. He was the busier of the two that round. And it just seems that his confidence seems to be growing quite a bit from round one. When he seemed a little hesitant, not so much in round two.
Out of his corner. I'm sure advising him what he needs to do after seeing what has happened the first 2 rounds. It looks like Mansilla has a little section of supporters there that have come to support him in this fight. This is a Cordoba native, so they didn't have to travel too far. And the third round here in the Quorum Cordoba Hotel. proboxtv.com, your boxing channel. Don't forget to hit us up on all our social media platforms at Probox TV. Third round underway. Ckari Mansilla, the Cordoba native, in the white and green trunks with the red gloves, and Alexis Rearte, the native of La Rioja, in the black trunks with the yellow gloves.
Oh, good right hook there from Rearte. Caught Mansilla. You saw him give him a little head nod there, acknowledgement that the shot landed.
So Rearte trying to back up Mansilla a little bit, making Mansilla respect his power. Good attempt at the body there. Mansilla is kind of a slow, deliberate approach, at least appears to me, from both fighters.
Yeah, what I like that Mansilla is doing, he looks like he's setting things up. He's trying to position his man into landing the big shot. You know, that right hand down low, he sees where his opponent moves. That's why I think the first round was so slow. He was gathering data about how his opponent was going to react to his power, and now we're here. Ooh, nice uppercutting inside from Mansilla.
And look at Rearte just kind of trying to fight out of the corner there. It does look like Mansilla is thinking. Like, you could see on his face that he's kind of, like you said, processing that data, is thinking about where to go.
And also as a puncher, you see him setting his feet up. He needs to have his feet set to punch hard. He's setting his feet up. He's inching closer and closer. And Rearte is making a mistake here. He's allowing him to close the distance. When you got a puncher like that, you got to keep him off balance. You got to keep angling. And it seems like Rearte is getting complacent with allowing Mansilla to close that gap and get in punching range.
So how does Rearte prevent that from happening, that closing the distance? What does he have to do?
He's got to be first, George. He's got to fire. He's got to feint from the outside. He's got to stay on his bike. You know, he moves well laterally, but he's got to fire first. He's allowing Mansilla to get too close before he reacts with his counter punches rather than leading.
That reminds me of something Charles Barkley said. He said, "Kids, if you ever in a fight, swing first." Yeah, that's
be first.
Yeah.
Make your offense your defense.
Rearte responding with a flurry of his own. Under 30 seconds left here as we are almost halfway done in this fight here. This super featherweight encounter scheduled for 6 rounds.
Mansilla starting to target the body and work his way up, but then Rearte came back with a nice straight left hand down the middle. That caught Mansilla as he finished his body shots. Whoa.
Body shot there. No, it was a slip.
Yeah, I don't know, George. I think I agree with you. That certainly could have been ruled a knockdown. I'd have to see the replay on that one.
And that will end the third round. And here is what we have for you coming up on Probox TV, including a taste of what we spoke with Jim Lampley.
Welcome to Probox.
Thank you very much, George. Pleasure to be here with both Paulie and Chris and you. It appeared that the punch landed directly on the belt line. And obviously, most fighters go in with the trunks a little bit high. Maybe they slide down a little bit during the course of the action, but it's the nemesis of officials in every sport, everywhere, the 50-50 call. From the still photos I looked at, it appeared to be a 50-50 call. So I can't argue with it.
You can see the entire interview with the great Jim Lampley on proboxtv.com, and I was mesmerized the entire time he spoke. It was amazing. As someone who watched him coming up and calling fights, it was a history lesson right there. It was fantastic stuff. Jim Lampley always comes through in magnificent fashion. As I mentioned, you can catch the entire interview on proboxtv.com. As we are about to begin the 4th round here in Cordoba, as the Cordoba native Ckari Mansilla growing into this fight. But Alexis Rearte making it difficult for the Cordobés. 4th round underway. Mansilla in the white and green trunks with the red gloves, and Rearte el Zurdito, as he is called, black trunks, yellow gloves. Mansilla opening up with a hard right hand.
Yeah, it certainly seems to me that Mansilla has some ring rust to bust off in those first couple rounds. He's really been coming on much more sure of what he wants to do. Ref warrants for an elbow, and now we have a cut under the eye of Zurdito. That was quick opening of that cut under the eye from the elbow.
And some power shots with the left hand to the body of Mansilla. Ooh, good counter by Rearte.
I was just about to mention, George, you see the focus of Mansilla is the body work, and that is a result of that left hook there. It was a little bit of a delayed reaction. He did hit him a little bit on the way down, as he might have already been down.
So the standing 8 count. And that's a knockdown score for Mansilla. And then he rushes over to try to finish off Rearte in the corner. But Rearte fighting out of the corner, punching back, eventually escapes. Some good action here in this 4th round.
Yeah, and Mansilla, he's running into some of these shots. He's so focused on the body and so focused on his offense, he's not bringing his hands back to home. And that's allowed Rearte to find some big shots, especially with the right hook and the left hand down the middle.
Another warning for the elbow there. 2nd warning for the elbow for Mansilla.
And Mansilla just looks like a very tough guy. He's rough, he's tough, he's throwing elbows in there, he's got big, heavy hands.
Rearte's in trouble. A couple of good uppercuts. But every time Rearte gets pinned, he just swings and fights out of it.
Yeah, but again, I mentioned the power differential between these two, and that couldn't be more evident here, as Mansilla is just overpowering, out-slugging, outworking.
Oh!
Down again.
Yeah, it's that uppercut got Rearte connected very well. It's the 2nd time he's been knocked down in this round. Standing 8 count. You can see the blood streaming down the face of Rearte from that, probably open from the elbow. And September 6th, Wednesday night fights live on proboxtv.com, Probox Event Center, Plant City, Florida. Chris, you're going to be there for those 2 fights, Kalajic and Ellison, and also William Foster III. Those are going to be some great encounters.
I mean, that you got 2 main events in that fight.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. You got 2 really good fights. Oh, wow, Duarte's actually cut over the eye. Rearte, rather, is cut over the eye and under the eye. There's a whole new cut. And I was going to talk about cuts and their placement and how dangerous they can be. Under the eye, not as dangerous. Obviously, does not bleed into the vision.
Right.
So, yes, painful. That cut under the eye hurts, but it's not going to affect your ability to fight or your ability to see. The cut over the eye, very dangerous position to have, because that blood drips into your eye. You blink, you don't see a punch, you get hurt. The shot you see is always the one that hurts the most.
So that cut man in the corners, this is where he really earns his money.
If he can get to the corner.
Right.
There's still time left in this round. A lot of blood from the eye.
Yeah, streaming down the right side of the face of Zurdito Rearte. And Mansilla knows it. Looks like he's going for it, trying to exploit that. Definitely, Mansilla looks like he's throwing for a knockout here. He's really putting some power into those shots.
Ooh, good body work again.
Out down the ropes, ducking and dodging, and he slips there.
Okay, another elbow as well. Very, very physical as Mansilla. He's really putting a lot of pressure in the last round and a half.
Yeah, definitely a round going to Ckari Mansilla as the cut man in the corner of Rearte. This is where his paycheck is earned. You take a look at that best action from the 4th round. You can see Mansilla definitely being.
We see Mansilla putting on tons of pressure, pinning his man against the ropes, letting both hands go, and that left hook behind the ear is the one that put Rearte down. You see, get up, he's disappointed, but he's still fighting on. Still some fight left in him. Ooh, nice uppercut there. Both hands uppercuts. It was a left uppercut, then a right uppercut. I'm wondering if one of those shots was actually where the cut came from.
Afuera.
Because there was a new cut that came up at the end of the round over the eye.
5th round here in Cordoba, and Mansilla in control of this fight. Rearte barely surviving that 4th round. Let's see if he can improve here in the 5th round. Here's the referee.
Referee's making it clear that the cuts are from elbows.
Both of them.
Yeah,
Both of them.
that's a. All right.
And is there another one under the left eye too? Look
Yeah,
like
he's got 2 cuts, over and under.
Yeah.
Oh, on the left
On
side.
the other side,
Oh,
yeah.
no,
but
I didn't see that.
maybe if we get a closer look at his face, maybe that's just blood trail. I don't know, but it looked like there might have been something under the left eye as well. Round 5 underway. Mansilla white and green with the red gloves, white and green trunks. Rearte black trunks with the yellow gloves. It looks like Mansilla, he sees where the weakness is. He sees where the openings are. He was really letting those hands go in the 4th round. Let's see if that continues here in the 5th.
Yeah, Mansilla had a slow start, but he's really picked up these last few rounds. Once he started focusing on the body, he became a whole different kind of fighter in there. He turned into the hunter, and he's been chasing Rearte all night long, trying to pin him and let those hands go down low and work his way up.
Mansilla, that right hand, he's letting it go. Rearte, at this point, he just has to just survive, right? I mean, make sure he doesn't absorb any more punishment.
Well, I was thinking, I mean, Mansilla is so offensive-minded. He's there to get cracked with a counter shot. If Rearte can walk him into a shot and use his own aggression against him, he may be able to hurt him or at least get some respect. Because at this point, Mancilla's just walking him down.
Oh! Straight right hand, putting Rearte to the turf. No need for a 10 count, and it's over. Mansilla has won this fight. Knockout in the 5th round. And a devastating blow there by Ckari Mansilla to improve to 16 wins, 12 by knockout.
Beautiful right-hand shot. I had mentioned earlier how Mansilla was setting up punches, moving his man and walking him into his shots. That was exactly what that was right there.
And that right hand was flush.
Straight, right down the middle. No fat on that punch. Perfect shot for a southpaw, right down the middle, splits the guard. I had mentioned earlier the shot you don't see is the one that hurts you the most. No way Rearte saw that shot.
What a fantastic knockout there by Mansilla. Showing that he can be, well, he has the power there now. Last 14 fights, he's won 10 by knockout or technical knockout. And what a devastating display in front of his home fans in his hometown. Ckari Mansilla, huge 5th round KO with a devastating right hand to take down Alexis Rearte. And don't forget, we got a co-main event here in Argentina. Yep, that's a Belgrano fan. I saw the shirt there. I saw the jacket. As Ramon Quiroga will be taking on Efrain Gonzalez or Rodriguez Gonzalez, a matchup of Argentina versus Mexico for the WBA Fede Latin flyweight title at 112 pounds or 50.8 kilos since they use metric system down there. And then the main event should be promising and interesting as well, as another Argentine, Sebastian Papeschi, will be going against another Mexican in Diego Carmona. That for the IBF Latino middleweight title. 10 rounds scheduled for that. Both the co-main event and the main event scheduled for 10 rounds. And Mancilla's friends and family very happy with the result. And what a devastating right hand there in the 5th. And Mansilla, ooh.
Oh, beautiful shot. Head off line, right hand right down the middle. He caught Rearte there in transition as he was moving out. He was trying to escape, and he put the right hand to where he was going to be, not to where he was. Beautiful shot. Yeah, Rearte was trying to use that lateral movement and punch as he was escaping. Bang, right down the middle. Left that opening, very, very slim opening. And Mansilla caught it perfectly. And like I said, he didn't see the shot. He was trying to be offensive and escape. Ooh. Oof. Right hand, right on the chin. Perfectly placed shot. No need for a count there. He had been hurt, dropped twice in the round before. He was cut above, below, and under the other eye. The referee had seen enough. No argument from
Yeah.
Rearte in his corner. Good stoppage.
Fallo
And now here's the official decision.
es ganador por nocaut técnico. Al minuto 29 segundos del quinto round, el hombre de la Popu de Argüello, Ckari Mansilla.
He now improves to 16 wins, 2 losses, and 12 wins by knockout. And he excites, ignites, and delights the crowd in Cordoba with the victory. And always good to see the family get in the ring as well, celebrate with dad. And a big victory for Ckari Mansilla. And we will see what's coming up next in his future at super featherweight, as our next fight here in Cordoba features Ramon Quiroga, the 26-year-old, 5 wins, 1 loss, and going up against the Mexican undefeated, 7 wins, all 7 by knockout by Efrain Rodriguez. That should be a very good fight in the flyweight division, 112 pounds. The records there, almost the same age, pretty much the same age, 25, 26, the height the same, everything the same. But just straight off the record, you figure Rodriguez has the power advantage, but you never know. They still got to step in the ring and make it happen.
En el rincón azul, con un peso de 50 kilos 300, récord oficial, 7 combates realizados.
So here is the
7 triunfos.
official introductions there as Efrain Rodriguez, the native of Ciudad de Mexico, and from the state of Querétaro, 26 years old. 7 wins, no losses, 7 wins by way of knockout. Efrain Rodriguez Gonzalez. It is going to be a big test for him. This is the first time he is fighting outside of Mexico, and he's going up against Argentine. You figure the home ring advantage, if there's a such thing, is going to be with Ramon Quiroga, the native of Oran in Salta, 26 years of age, 5 wins, 1 loss, 2 wins by knockout. And this fight's scheduled for 10 rounds. This is the second fight in his career that is scheduled for 10 rounds. Let's see if he actually makes it all the way to the end, or if he is to do like his countryman did in the first fight, Mansilla, and win by knockout. This is going to be very interesting here for the WBA Fede Latin flyweight title. And a lot of times these fighters in the lighter weight classes tend to be more active and maybe put on a little bit more of a show. We will see what happens in this matchup. So last minute checks here from the referee as we're about to begin here as Quiroga. He's been active, fought a couple of months ago. His last fight, June 10th, in the Casino Buenos Aires. It was a 10-round unanimous decision victory over the Nigerian Afolabi Shitu. Meanwhile, Efrain Rodriguez also busy, fighting in March, last March, in Distrito Federal, Mexico City. And that was a quick fight, 2nd round TKO over Diego Reyes. So you figure with the records, figure Quiroga may be the better boxer, and Rodriguez will have the power advantage. We'll see how that plays out over the next 10 rounds, if it gets that far, goes that far. One of 2 Argentina-Mexico matchups here in Cordoba. The co-main event, Ramon Quiroga against Efrain Rodriguez here on proboxtv.com. Your boxing channel, good fighters in great fights. This promotion in association with Samson Boxing and Teo Box as well. And Quiroga looks very calm before this fight. George DiMattelis alongside world champion Chris Algieri. Thank you very much for joining us here on proboxtv.com. First round underway. Ramon Quiroga in the sky blue and dark blue trunks with the red gloves, and the Mexican Efrain Rodriguez in the green trunks with the black gloves. Underway, and Rodriguez, not afraid to show those power punches early. Goes to the body there with the left.
You know, George, our tail of tape didn't show any difference in terms of the height and reach, but it looks to me like Rodriguez is the bigger man. He looks taller. He looks longer. We've seen that already. Started fast from the outside.
Yeah,
see if he can use that to his advantage.
Yeah, 100% knockout record. You figure he might be trying to go for the knockout quick.
You know, George, you had mentioned the record of Rodriguez, 7-0, 7 KOs. Most of his fights, if not all of his fights, are fought in Mexico. There's a lot of opponents out there, and they can be very low level. So that can be a deceiving record. So I wouldn't bank too much on the record, but we'll see.
At 26 years of age, it's going to be his first real test because first fight outside of Mexico, and this is the first time he's scheduled for a fight more than 8 rounds. So if it goes a distance, his stamina and training will be put to the test against Ramon Quiroga. 5 wins, 1 loss, 2 by knockout.
And that's one thing about the lighter weights. You'll see guys with less than 10 fights who are in 10 rounders, and Quiroga's been in a couple. You know, so it tends to move much quicker in the lighter weights than we see in some of the heavier weight classes.
Oh, good left hand there, the jab there with Rodriguez, and then tries to follow with the right.
Good sharp stuff between these two. Got a nice nip tuck first round. Ooh, little off balance shot there from Rodriguez, pushes Quiroga back.
Less than a minute here in the first round.
Oh, big overhand right from Rodriguez, lands clean.
Goes to the body as well. And these two not afraid to exchange in the middle of the ring. That bodes well for the entertainment factor of this fight. As
you mentioned, George, that the lighter weights are generally quicker pace and they throw more punches and they're very entertaining. It looks like we got one here right in front of us tonight.
Oh. Early on, both of these fighters dropping some bombs here. A good start to this round here for Quiroga and Rodriguez. Less than 10 seconds remaining in what has been a pretty good first round here between Ramon Quiroga and Efrain Rodriguez.
Yeah, both these guys definitely well-schooled. They know how to fight, letting those hands go early on.
And mutual respect there between the two fighters. And we'd like to remind you here on proboxtv.com, it is your boxing channel. You can follow us on all our social media platforms at proboxtv. And what a fight card we have coming up Wednesday, September 6th from the Probox TV Event Center in Plant City, Florida. It is going to be a great night of fights. Chris Algieri is going to be there with Paulie Malignaggi, the great Mike Goldberg as well. And on the Spanish side, Juan Manuel Marquez. And proboxtv.com. You get, not only do you get live fights, but you get great news, information. You got the great shows, big fight preview, deep waters, sparring sessions. Sparring sessions my favorite, by the way.
Mine too.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mine too. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun there. George Jakovic with the bow tie, dropping, judging the arguments there. Some great
referee
stuff.
Judgment.
Yeah.
I get to be competitive with Paulie. It's very good.
Yeah, it's great stuff there. ProboxTV.com, your boxing channel. Round number 2 here from the Quorum Cordoba Hotel in Cordoba, Argentina, the land of the world champions in football, world football. I have to say that from all my Argentine friends. It is the WBA Fede Latin flyweight title on the line. Ramon Quiroga of Argentina in the sky blue and dark blue trunks, red gloves, going up against Efrain Rodriguez in the green trunks and black gloves. First round was some good action. Second round we hope will continue.
Quiroga, man, he's pretty slick. His defense is very subtle. He slides and rolls with these shots quite well, lets his hands go. Nice upper body rhythm. Gets those shoulders moving, changes levels quite well, uses those feints.
Ooh, big uppercut missed there by Rodriguez.
Yeah, I really like that head movement from Quiroga. It's moving nicely on the outside. I think he felt some of that power of that 7-0, 7 KO Rodriguez in round 1. Ooh, good right hand over the top.
And one thing about Rodriguez is when he decides to throw the punches, he lets it go.
Yeah, he believes in his power. You can see it. As he should. He's got 100% KO percentage coming into this fight. So, left hook upstairs. Great shot there from Quiroga.
Good exchanges there between these two fighters.
And you see what I mean, George? When he slides out, he's got his defense up. He's not pulling out lazily. He moves out with smart defense.
Good combination by Quiroga there, trying to get through the defense. Rodriguez left hand with the body to the body.
Good double shot there with the left hand from Quiroga. He went upstairs and downstairs.
And See both fighters, when they get in close, they're both willing just to let it go and let the hands fly. That means it's going to get some good shots and some entertaining boxing here.
It's one of the things I think a lot of American fans don't know much about the flyweights. They don't really pay attention to the smaller guys. But if you really tune in and watch, these guys are very classy, good, explosive, entertaining fights. This is a great matchup here.
See, both have good hand speed, it looks like, as well. They get...
Ooh, good exchange there. Both men landed beautifully. Rodriguez landed a good right hand. Quiroga came back with a left hook upstairs.
Yeah, good second round here with less than 30 seconds here.
Oh, good left hook from Quiroga on the inside. He timed that perfectly. Doubles up the right hand. Nice combination.
And then off the ropes there, Rodriguez with the left. The first round was entertaining. This one is
even better.
Even better, for sure. Less than 10 seconds left here in this second round. Yeah. And that ends the second round in what has been a very active first 2 rounds for these two flyweights. And let's take a look at the keys to victory. Let's begin with Efrain Rodriguez. He has to, Quiroga first. Close the space, stay aggressive, and patience for the Argentine fighter.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing that. You know, he's doing a good job once he gets inside. Let's let his hands go. And like I said, he's very smart on the way out, too. He comes in smart, and he's smart on the exit. That's the way to be. Stay aggressive. He likes to let his hands go. He's throwing those nice combinations, as we've seen, and also be patient. He's got a puncher in front of him. He doesn't want to overextend himself and get hit with that big shot.
And you can see the corner man there for Quiroga with his gestures kind of saying the same thing with the body movement. As for Efrain Rodriguez Gonzalez, watch the jab, listen to your corner, and quick start.
Yeah, I mean, he started quick, but so did his opponent. So that might not be that might have not worked out for it in terms of his key. Watch the jab for sure. He's got an opponent in front of him. He's got a good jab. He's using it well. And listen to the corner. You're fighting a guy who's got a lot of experience. He's been 10 rounds before. This is your first 10-rounder. A lot of times you have to lean on the guys who've been there, like your corner in a situation like this.
Yeah, third round here in Cordoba, and we've had two very good the first 2 rounds have been very good, lots of action, and it looks like the third round is going to continue. Let's hope they can sustain this pace as the fight progresses. We get to those later rounds. As the Mexican Efrain Rodriguez in the green and trunks with the black gloves, and Quiroga, a combination there, sky blue and red gloves.
That was a beautiful exchange for Quiroga. He came in with the jab. He let his hands go. He wasn't sure he was going to throw a combination, but his opponent froze. Let his hands go upstairs and downstairs, and then on the way out, kept his hands up, stayed smart defensively. Beautiful exchange. Quiroga took the advantage there.
Ooh, there's Rodriguez missing with the right hand, and the way Rodriguez is throwing some of these punches, if he connects one of them, it looks like it's going to be night-night for Quiroga.
Yeah, and that's why Quiroga, part of the keys to victory is to be patient, because you got a guy in front of you who can punch. You got a guy who believes in his punch. So you got to set traps. You got to make sure you're smart in and out, and let those hands go whenever you have the chance. Ooh, good shot there from Rodriguez on the inside. Another one.
Oh, and let's see if there was an accidental low blow. We don't need any more low blow controversies in boxing, especially after what happened in the heavyweights a couple of days ago. So he's going to walk it off there. I think every man watching knows how that feels. We don't need to go any further than that. Obviously accidental, touching gloves and back into the action here. As we are almost halfway through this third round. The scheduled 10.
That right hook from Rodriguez has been a nice weapon. There it is again. He's been finding a home for that this round. Doubles up the jab and then the right hook around the glove, being able to catch Quiroga on the ear. Oh, big left hook from Quiroga.
And that definitely was a knockdown there. I think Rodriguez is thinking to slip, but nope. It is a solid shot by Quiroga. First knockdown of the match goes to the Argentine. Well connected there, well done by Ramon Quiroga.
Yeah, Quiroga with that left hook. And again, he's throwing a lot of combination punching. And that might have been more of a balanced shot than anything, but he did go down on the end of a punch. So
we were waiting to see one of these fighters connect on a big shot, and finally we got one here in the third round.
Oh, good body shot there from Rodriguez on the inside. That's a great move. When you got a guy who's getting real low in front of you, is moving that head a lot. The head becomes hard to find. The body doesn't move as much. Rodriguez found that left hook to the liver while Quiroga was getting his head movement.
Yeah, this has been an action-packed third round, the knockdown in favor of Quiroga.
Oh, big right hand. And I was going to say, Rodriguez, even though he went down in this round, has been having a really good round between the body shots and a couple of those right hands. But back comes Quiroga.
This has been a fantastic third round between Quiroga and Efrain Rodriguez.
And we said the second round was better than the first. Now the third round's better than the second. Excellent action here.
And the knockdown scored by Quiroga in what has been an eventful fight between these two flyweights. And we'll see what happens in the fourth round. But this third round has been fantastic. The first 3 rounds have been very good between these two fighters. So you take a look at the knockdown again.
Nice combination here from Quiroga. He lands that right hand left hook upstairs, put a nice left hook to the body as well. Here we're going to take a look at that knockdown. Yeah, and again, it is more of a balanced shot. Rodriguez went down but wasn't hurt by the shot, but he was trying to pull away and got hit square. He goes down, properly scored a knockdown.
Yeah, let's take a look at what we have for you coming up. A little taste of big fight preview on probox.com.
Remember, Tyson versus Douglas, Liston versus Clay won, Ali versus Foreman in later times, Joshua and Ruiz won. All big heavyweight upsets. I'm trying to sway you. I'm trying to see if I can get someone to pick Dubois.
I got Usyk by stoppage. I think he's gonna look great. I think he's gonna start early. He's gonna have Dubois guessing all night long. And
Poland is filled with Ukrainians right now, refugees from the war. He's gonna be feeling that energy. He's gonna feel like he's representing something bigger than just boxing.
Cuarto round.
Big fight preview, one of the great shows that we have for you here on proboxtv.com. Paulie, Chris, George, fantastic stuff. We got some other great big name fighters, Hall of Famers joining us here on proboxtv.com. So the channel is growing, the concept is growing, and we're happy to be a part of it. Fourth round here in Cordoba, Argentina, as Ramon Quiroga scoring a knockdown in the third round. But Efrain Rodriguez acquitting himself very well here. Let's see if he can bounce back, maybe score a knockdown of his own here in the fourth round. The Mexican in green, the Argentine in sky blue, and I guess it's dark blue, black, I don't know. But you guys know the difference.
Well, yeah, that's the Argentina blue right there.
Yeah.
That flag, and then he's got the black with the white. But, you know, you'd mentioned we got great content, great shows, great former champions. We have a great fight right in front of us right now here tonight. These guys are not shy about letting their hands go on the inside. Lots of leather being thrown, quick hands. We had a knockdown last round from a left hook from Quiroga. And here Rodriguez wants to get that back. He's got the heart of a Mexican. He's coming out here in round 4 looking to get that back.
And the way these two fighters are going, I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon. Both of these guys are very tough. Strong iron wills as well. And not afraid to just let those hands go in exchange in the middle of the ring. There's the right hand from Quiroga, and then the counter combination by Rodriguez.
And just so evenly matched. I mean, they come right back. They answer everything. Oh, big left hook again upstairs from Quiroga. Oh, a little behind the back action there. Kidney shot.
Yeah, those kidney shots placed well. Those there.
Been hit with a few of those in my day.
Yeah,
they're not fun.
Yeah.
You feel them the next day a lot.
The next day. Oh, okay.
Yeah, next day a lot.
And it's the second time there we see Quiroga kind of gesture to the back there of the kidney. So
a little inside boxing here. I actually got hit with a punch like that in sparring. It broke my rib.
Oh.
Knocked it. It actually dislodged it from the front because it hit me in the backside.
Oh, right hand.
Good shot there from Rodriguez.
And that certainly wobbled Quiroga. Oh, but Quiroga responding.
Like I just said a few moments ago, like these guys, like one gets an advantage and his opponent comes immediately back. Very evenly matched fight here. No one wants to give an inch.
Two fantastic competitors here between Quiroga and Rodriguez.
And George, I think you're right. You surmised early on, based on their records, that Quiroga was going to be the better boxer and Rodriguez the puncher, and it certainly seems that way. A lot of pressure being put on by Rodriguez here.
Ooh, combination there by Quiroga. It seems like every time Quiroga responds with a good combination, Rodriguez comes back immediately, firing back. This has been a treat of a fight so far, as we are about to end of the fourth, going into the fifth round. Good stuff here in Cordoba. Earlier today here on proboxtv.com, we had Ckari Mansilla with the spectacular fifth round knockout of Alexis Rearte to improve to 16 wins, 2 losses, and 12 by knockout. And right now, in this fight between Quiroga and Rodriguez, I would say right now after 4 rounds, maybe Quiroga has a slight, well, he has an advantage because he has the knockdown in the third.
I had him up anyway. I think he's been the busier of the two. I like his boxing. Like I said, his ability to get inside, get his combinations off, and then exit with his hands up and his defense on has been very impressive so far. Rodriguez has been coming on the last 2 rounds. Actually, it started once he got dropped. He had a really good round after he got up, and then the following round, round 4, he looked really good. So that was the first round that I actually gave Rodriguez. But no, we've got a tight fight here, but I do have Quiroga up a little bit.
And with Rodriguez being the road opponent, we'll put it that way, I don't know if he can, I don't want to say trust, but I don't know if he could leave it up to the judges. He might have to, in order to win this fight, if it's close, he might have to win by knockout here in order to improve to 8-0. See what happens. When it's close, usually the home fighter might get the advantage. We shall see. I
like to be optimistic and altruistic when it comes to scoring. I don't like to say that, oh, hometown this, hometown that. But a lot of times what really affects the judges is the crowd. And if you take the crowd out of the fight, so everything that your opponent does doesn't get a roar in the crowd, or if you're able to silence them, a lot of times that can even the playing field when it comes to judging. And it does seem like it's a quiet crowd out there right now, so Rodriguez doing his job there.
Yeah, definitely showing that he can go toe-to-toe with Quiroga. And I think the fans appreciate the power that Rodriguez has, because mentioned in the first fight with Mansilla, you can kind of hear the power, the shots. It's kind of the same. Actually, both of them you can hear the shots. Both of them showing some good power.
These actually seem like educated fans because they're watching some good action here. And it seems like they're very much paying attention to the action that's going on rather than screaming their heads off over any little shot.
Ooh, good left hook there by Quiroga.
Certainly more fanfare for Quiroga, though. Quiroga.
Yeah, the pro-Argentine crowd for sure. First, as we mentioned before, Rodriguez, this is his first time fighting out of Mexico, and this is the first time he's gone past 4 rounds. None of his previous fights have gone past 4 rounds, so new uncharted territory for the native of Ciudad de Mexico.
We're only halfway through. I mean, if this does go the full route, that's a big ask. Yeah. Never gone 4 to go 10 in your first fight against an experienced opponent who's also gone 10 multiple times. It's a tall task for Rodriguez.
And win or lose, he's gonna definitely learn a lot from this fight and go back to the gym and improve and work on what he needs to improve on. Goes twice to the body.
Pretty risky endeavor for an undefeated fighter to travel from Mexico to Argentina to fight an Argentinian who has more experience than you. Oh, good left hook again. Wobbles Rodriguez.
Well, it was the left hook that floored him in the 3rd round and connected again here in the 5th.
Yeah, but George, that looked like more of a balance shot. This looked like a shot that actually wobbled his legs. That was a good left hook.
Rodriguez trying to finish strong. Oh,
body shot. Yeah. Seemed a little low, but
that left hand coming low to the body. Oh, 2 wild punches there, the uppercut and then the right. Telling you, Rodriguez, those 2 wild shots at the end, if one of them connects, it might take his head off there. Rodriguez not afraid to let him go, trying to display his power. And don't forget, proboxtv.com, your boxing channel. Wednesday night fights. Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi, Mike Goldberg will be in the building at the Pro Box Event Center in Plant City, Florida. Radovoy Hot Rod Kalajic will be going up against Mickey Ellison in the co-main event September 6th. And the card begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, and 5:30 p.m. Ciudad de Mexico on proboxtv.com. And don't forget, download the app where apps are available, Probox TV. That should be a great night of fights. It's Probox TV, your boxing channel's good fighters in great fights. Speaking of great fights, I think we have one building up here as round number 6 underway. And instantly, the Mexican Rodriguez in the green trunks and black gloves coming out swinging. I think he might understand, or he knows that he might be behind in this fight. So he's going to maybe be a little more aggressive to try to close it out here. Going up against Ramon Quiroga.
Yeah, Rodriguez had a rough end of that 5th round, so he came out strong to start this round. He's come out strong in the beginning of a lot of rounds, but now, like you said, George, he seems like he's got a little more urgency in these rounds.
And certainly the action, you can hear the corners now screaming. I think the corners, especially Rodriguez's corners, understands that he needs to maybe apply more pressure, turn up the heat on Quiroga here in Cordoba.
And in Quiroga, you know, in terms of where I believe their mindset might be is, you know, they've been this distance before. They know they can keep this pace. Also, they got that knockdown in their back pocket. So now I just got to go out there. I got to box. I got to see how this guy reacts to these later rounds. Let me keep doing what I'm doing. A lot less pressure on Quiroga at this point.
And Quiroga, or was it Rodriguez complaining about a back head to the back of the head, but referee obviously letting it go. So with a bit of a lead here, if you're Quiroga's corner, obviously you don't want him to back off, but does he have to focus more on defense, or does he just keep doing what he's doing and kind of cruise into the 10th round with the victory?
No, I think you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's been working all night long. You being active, letting your hands go, being defensively sound, and then also, you know, like I said, you've got that knockdown in the books already. You're having good success where you're at. He's not been getting hit with big shots. I don't think there's much to change. And his pace hasn't changed either. It's not like he looks like he's tiring. Whereas I can't say the same for Rodriguez. I don't know if he looks as pressing as he was a few rounds earlier. Not as consistent. Here we see him getting with big shots.
Yeah, good combination there by Quiroga. Trying to get through the defense.
Ooh, good body shot there from Rodriguez. Catches Quiroga on the way out.
Oh, that left hand.
Yeah, whenever Rodriguez looks to be starting to get overwhelmed, he roars back with some good shots. Oh, good shot there from Quiroga.
Now Rodriguez looking for that opening, lunges in with the left. Oh, good exchange in the middle of the ring there. Both fighters landing some hard shots. End of round 6 here in Cordoba. Good action here as Rodriguez trying to fight back, get back into this fight. But some good moments from both fighters in round 6. And there's that combination there. As we, here on proboxtv.com, your boxing channel, here's some of the best shows we have here on the network.
Deep Waters. Join us in our deep dive into the top stories and controversies across the sport. Who Demand, discussing fighters' rankings within each division, including our pound-for-pound rankings of the best in boxing.
Great shows here on proboxtv.com, your boxing channel. Ramon Quiroga on the left, Efrain Rodriguez of Mexico on the right, as we are closing in or about to begin round 7 here on proboxtv.com from Cordoba, Argentina. George DiMattelis alongside world boxing and kickboxing champion Chris Algieri. And Ramon Quiroga appears to be in the driver's seat here. He's in the lead, I'm guessing, on the judges' scorecard. What does Rodriguez have to do to get back into this fight?
You know, he's got to finish the rounds the way that he starts. He comes out very strong in the early round. He's got a lot of effort. He's throwing big shots, but then as the round wears on, he starts to slow. And then we saw at the end of that last round, he got hit with that combination. He just seems like his gas tank at the later parts of the round is not there. He needs to be more consistent.
So round 7 here at the Quorum Cordoba Hotel in Argentina. Both fighters fighting for the WBA Fede Latin flyweight title. Ramon Quiroga in the sky blue and black trunks with the red gloves, and the Mexican Efrain Rodriguez in the green trunks with the white and red on the side and the black gloves.
You know, easier said than done from what I said, what Rodriguez needs to do. Like I said, like you had said earlier, he has only been 4 rounds, and we're now in round 7 of 10 against a guy with a lot of experience who's boxing quite well.
And Rodriguez trying to connect with that overhand right. And Quiroga, it doesn't seem, every time I'm watching Quiroga, it doesn't seem, very rarely does he throw just one. He seems like he's getting in there with some good combinations. Not afraid to let those hands go and throw multiple punches.
Yeah, you know what he does, George? Is he builds. He'll land that jab, he'll land a shot, he'll land 1, 2, and he goes, you know what, I can stay here and keep throwing. And he does. He lets those hands go. He's got quick hands. He's got good balance, so he is not escaping before he finishes his combination. There it is again.
Just the 7th professional fight. Ooh, left hand connecting with Rodriguez. Just the 7th professional fight for Ramon Quiroga.
Yeah, we've been talking quite a bit about records tonight, and Rodriguez is the guy 7-0, 7 KOs. But the man who's been landing the shots that are doing the damage is Quiroga.
Yep. This is coming into this fight, Quiroga on a 4-fight win streak. And he went the distance in his last fight against the Nigerian Afolabi Shitu. So this is familiar for Quiroga.
Oh, big right hand lands.
And less than a minute remaining here in this 7th round. And
I believe we got a cut.
Is it over the right eye there? Yeah, right there on the right eye, just above the right eye, it looks like.
Yeah, that's one of those shots, like a little slit just outside the eye, below the eyebrow, above the eye. Can be dangerous, but a lot of times, depending on your facial structure, that can bleed around your cheekbone and not necessarily go in the eye. We'll see how that develops.
Yeah, we saw that in that first fight when Rearte was opened up by Mansilla.
Oh, good body shot there from Rodriguez.
Now Rodriguez, his cut man is going to have to earn his paycheck. Ooh, good shot there by Rodriguez. Going to the body.
Oh, another good right hand from Quiroga.
What a fantastic exchange to end round number 7. To Ramon Quiroga and Efrain Rodriguez. And push comes to shove, Chris. In the end, they'll stand in the middle of the ring toe-to-toe and let those hands go in and try to knock each other out there. Both fighters showing a lot of heart and determination. So take a look at the best action from that last round.
You see, we spoke about Quiroga in terms of building off of what he lands and being smart on his defense on the way out. That was a perfect example of what I've been talking about all night long. There they traded left hooks, but I do believe Quiroga got the better of that. There's a nice overhand right as he dipped his head offline, and that's where we had that momentary clash of heads causing the cut over the eye. I think we're going to... Nope, that was just another good combination for Quiroga. Letting those hands go, throwing combinations, being defensively sound. Quiroga's really having a good night tonight, boxing very, very smart.
This 8th round about to begin. And one thing about Quiroga that I've noticed is that it seems like his head movement, his body movement, his defense is a little, well, not, I won't say a little, but maybe obviously better than Rodriguez. He's been able to slip punches better than Rodriguez has.
It's at least been more consistent.
Right.
He starts the round, he ends the round. Maybe not necessarily better. I mean, you could argue that for sure. Ooh, good uppercut there from Rodriguez. But no, he's been very consistent round to round. I think a lot of that comes from experience. That's the biggest intangible in the game. How much experience can you bring into the ring? And the fact that he's been rounds before is showing here tonight.
Ramon Quiroga in the blue and white, with the red gloves, and Efrain Rodriguez Gonzalez in the green with the black gloves. There's Quiroga coming forward, connecting on a couple of shots. And certainly a fitness test for Rodriguez, as the furthest he's gone is 4. Now he's doubled that up here in the 8th round, assuming he survives the 8th round. Oh, now Rodriguez on the ropes. Quiroga trying to pin him there, but Rodriguez fighting out of it. But now Quiroga.
And George, notice the change of momentum here. Now we got Quiroga, who's starting to control the center of the ring more, letting his hands go. And we got Rodriguez, who I had mentioned about the consistency in the rounds. We're seeing less and less in that as the rounds wear on.
There's the overhand right there. And again, the right by Quiroga. And Rodriguez counters with a couple of body shots. The hands are low there by Rodriguez. That leaves him susceptible, right? Those the hands dropping a little bit by Rodriguez, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting outworked here. He got hit with a good stab jab to the belly button. That left hook has been giving him hell all night long. Quiroga definitely in the driver's seat in the second half of this bout.
And it looks like Quiroga appears that, oh, he's got Rodriguez on the ropes. And then Rodriguez fighting out of it, left hook to get himself off the ropes, and then another left hook connects.
But Rodriguez coming back strong here. He knows he's falling behind. Notice also he's had his mouth open the last 2.5 rounds. It's been very, very different fighter in Rodriguez as the fight's been wearing on. Quiroga looks exactly the same as he did in the beginning. Yeah. Very, very consistent.
Yeah. Quiroga he has that calm composure there. Rodriguez a little more frenetic.
Mm-hmm. And Quiroga is also, he's very subtle. Very, very subtle in his approach. You look at it, it's like, oh, if you really look at all the punches he lands, the combinations, and how many punches he makes just miss, like that one. Very, very subtle stuff, classy stuff from Quiroga.
Yeah. There's the class, but he also has shown the power as well. So he's got a little bit of both.
Yeah, I know. I'm very impressed with him tonight. Like I said, when you see these young fighters who are letting their hands go and then escaping with defense, that always impresses me because a lot of guys fall in love with their power, fall in love with their offense, and on the way out they get caught. Not Quiroga.
We're about to begin the 9th round, but a strong 8th round there for Ramon Quiroga, who appears to be, I don't want to say cruising, but looks like he looks pretty comfortable here toward the end of this fight. As we take a look at the best action from round number 8, and there was the chance Quiroga had to pin Rodriguez on the ropes, but Rodriguez, to his credit, fought off the ropes there.
Yeah, landed a nice left hook there to seem to crack and put Quiroga back on his heels. But even that first replay we saw, there was a little push-off and then a combination from Quiroga. I talked about how subtle the moves he does in there. That was a very subtle, classy move that he pulled off.
And well schooled is Ramon Quiroga, the Argentine fighter from Salta. And don't forget, September 6th here on proboxtv.com, your boxing channel. Good fighters and great fights. William Foster III, undefeated, will be taking on Misael Lopez live from the Probox TV Event Center in Plant City, Florida. Chris Algieri will be there with Paulie Malignaggi and Mike Goldberg. And on the Spanish side, the great Juan Manuel Marquez and Radovoy Hatrad Kalajic looking to improve his record against Mickey Ellison. 2 great fights there to headline the card on Wednesday, September 6th. ProboxTV.com, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, and 5:30 p.m. for Mis Hermanos Mexicanos. I'm practicing my Spanish, Chris, so there you go.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm from Miami, so that helps a lot.
Yeah, well.
9th round here in Argentina as Ramon Quiroga, the Argentine, in the blue and black with the red gloves, just has to make sure he doesn't get knocked out and continue what he's doing here. And he's on his way to picking up the WBA Fede Latin flyweight title over Efrain Rodriguez, who has shown a lot of heart and a game fighter here. But I think at this point, Rodriguez might have to score a knockout in order to win this fight.
Well, if he's going to do it, it's probably going to be off that left hook. He landed a left hook in that last round that seemed to have shook Quiroga up a little bit. The first time I've ever seen him really affected by any of these shots. And he came out this round throwing left hooks at will, so we'll see if he can find some home for that shot.
Lunging forward there, Rodriguez looking to connect.
Good pressure here from Rodriguez early in round 9.
And he's still throwing some hard shots here, so even though he hasn't gone past the 4th round in any of his previous fights, and yeah, you did mention the mouth is open, so he's breathing heavier, he's still throwing some strong, hard shots that Quiroga has to be careful not to get hit with.
He's late in the fight. He's certainly fatigued. He's cut. He's been down. He's dealing with everything in this first 10-rounder, and that's kind of how it goes in boxing, man. It's that boxing room is not a nice place to make a living. Oh, good left hook again. There's that shot that I was talking about. That's Rodriguez's punch. That's his chance.
He's been landing very well there.
On my scorecard, he's going to have to find lightning in a bottle with one of these shots because he's down.
He certainly is, and Quiroga still calm and composed here. 9th round, and he's still, as you mentioned, still looks almost as if it's the 1st round there.
Yeah, still letting those hands go, man. Like you said, you used the word comfortable earlier a couple of rounds ago, like cruise control. It seems very much that way from Quiroga, and here he goes, just letting those hands go. Nothing fancy. Oh, good left hook upstairs. And Rodriguez was having a good round,
Yep.
and here comes Quiroga at the last minute trying to steal the round.
And it looks like he might just have done it there, depending on what happens on these last 35 seconds here.
I still got Rodriguez up a little bit in this round, but we'll see what happens in these last 30.
It's a 9th round out of a scheduled 10. WBA Latin flyweight title on the line. Good shot there by.
And a stab jab.
Yeah.
And a jab upstairs.
So you guys always talk about mixing the levels there. That's what Quiroga is doing.
He's doing it beautifully. He's got that upper body rhythm. He keeps it moving. Just like I said, that consistency is there. He lets those hands go. He varies the punches quite a bit, changes levels, and that left hook has been money all night long.
See, I listen to you and Paulie when you're calling fights and mixing levels.
I can tell. I can tell.
9th round here for Quiroga and Rodriguez.
I felt bad for Rodriguez in that round. He had a really good round, and Quiroga stole it in my book. I mean, that last minute of the round, he was putting on a clinic. There we see more combination punches, and that's the difference. I talked about how Quiroga is able to escape without getting hit. Rodriguez, the exact opposite. That's exactly when Quiroga takes advantage of Rodriguez is after he throws his combinations, he pulls out straight, he gets a little lax. You had mentioned his hands have come down, and Quiroga just goes to town.
Is it me also, or is it seems like Rodriguez is a little wider and wilder with his punches, while Quiroga may be a little more compact?
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
observation.
Honestly, that's a lot of that's the Mexican style. They throw wider shots. They're looking for power shots. They set their feet. But he's got a guy in front of him tonight that is just a little too savvy, a little too slick, and using his jabs and combinations really well.
And Ramon Quiroga, barring a knockout, is on his way to victory. We'll see what happens as Rodriguez has shown some good power here. 10th and final round here in Cordoba. WBA Fede Latin flyweight title on the line. It's been a good fight with a lot of action between Ramon Quiroga of Argentina in the sky blue and dark blue trunks with the red gloves, and the Mexican Efrain Rodriguez Gonzalez in the green trunks and black gloves. And for Rodriguez Gonzalez, he's going to need that knockout here to win this fight. And well, he's going to go out swinging, that's for sure.
Oh, George, be careful calling. 3 minutes is a long time. A lot can happen in their 3 minute. Good right hand there from Quiroga. A lot can happen in a 3 minute round, and you never know. That's boxing.
Yeah. The beauty of the sport, right, is that it's unpredictable like that. Yep. Well, certainly has been an entertaining fight here in this co-main event on proboxtv.com in association with Samson Boxing. Samson Lekovitz always puts together good shows, especially in Latin America.
Look at the movement. Look at the movement from Quiroga. He's having fun out there, man. He's making this look like a sparring session. He's really just taking his time. He feels he's a head guy with a left hook there. But for the most part, I mean, even in this 10th round, he's still boxing sweet. He's moving his head. He's changing levels. He's letting his hands go. He's making his man miss. Still throwing combinations.
That's smart there. Throw the combo, grab, maybe take a little bit of a breather, and then break. And
if you didn't watch this fight at all and you tuned in on this 10th round and you watched these two guys, you would have the idea that Quiroga's winning this fight, just based on body language, mannerisms.
It certainly has been a strong showing for Ramon Quiroga. And you know what, even Efrain Rodriguez, I think he's acquitted himself very well here. He's shown some promise.
In only his 8th pro fight, never been past 4. To go 10 here in a night like this, I tip my hat to him. But, I mean, barring some really poor judging, in my opinion, I think he's coming out of here with his first loss.
Yeah, less than a minute remaining here in the 10th round of this flyweight fight for the WBA Fede Latin title.
Yeah, I mean, just too much sauce, man. Quiroga is just pouring it on. Too slick, too smart, too fit. Just the conditioning.
You can see that Rodriguez, little bit of blood over the eye, and Quiroga unmarked at all on his face there. Less than 30 seconds.
That speaks to the defense and the experience. He knows where to put his head on the inside so he don't clash heads together. He doesn't get hit on the way in or the way out. There you see that head movement again. Changes levels beautifully, mixes things up.
It seems like, that left hand, that hook.
That was the punch I've been saying. That's the one. Let's see if Rodriguez can close.
On the ropes is Quiroga.
Not a lot of time left. Oh, yep.
Yep, and the bell ends.
And look at Quiroga hugging him like, oof. It's close.
He said, oh, I'm glad I don't have to take any more of those shots.
Got to the end.
Standing ovation from some of the people in the crowd, and I think the crowd appreciates the effort of Quiroga and Rodriguez. Furious finish to this fight.
This is why I love flyweights, man. They don't get a lot of love in this country, but they always put on a show. Beautiful stuff from Quiroga. I was very impressed with his boxing ability tonight, his combination punching. And Rodriguez, man, his doggedness, coming forward, throwing big shots. He showed that power, was coming on late. You know, he was still trying. He never got the fight beaten out of him. But in terms of what I like, what I saw, I got Quiroga winning this fight.
And Quiroga.
Look how clean his face is.
He's clean his face, yep. Let's take a look at the best action from the affair between Ramon Quiroga and the Mexican Efrain Rodriguez. There was the knockdown in the third with that left hook flooring Rodriguez.
Yeah, we had to skip right to that for the replays because pretty much every round was a highlight. These guys were going back and forth, especially early on. It was very hotly contested early on. I like the boxing ability of Quiroga. I like the power punching style of Rodriguez. That knockdown, though, that was a big one. Beautiful counter right hand there from Rodriguez. You saw him back Quiroga up and try to let those hands go. But then back comes Quiroga. These guys all night long. Once one guy got a little bit ahead, the other guy came back immediately. Yeah, great action.
Yeah, fourth round, much the same. Every time one fighter seemed to be making progress there, the other one would come forward and then they would counter and kind of neutralize each other there. That's what you like to see. Good balanced fight there. The combinations by Quiroga, I think, were really, really effective in this fight.
Absolutely. The two rounds that I thought that Rodriguez boxed the best were actually the round where he got knocked down in the third, and then the fourth. The fourth I thought was his strongest showing. That was one of the rounds that I gave him on my scorecard. But then you saw in those middle rounds, Quiroga started to have an effect, especially with the left hook. He was able to hurt Rodriguez a few times, and pinning him down with combinations like that, just, I mean, when you throw 5, 6, 7 punches and 4, 5, 6 of them land, it's really hard not to steal that round.
You think maybe Quiroga, when he had Rodriguez in trouble and he was connecting on 4 or 5, maybe should he just kept going, maybe go for the knockout, or is that
I don't
smart
think so. I think he felt the power of Rodriguez. You know, he's got 7 KOs in those 7 fights, regardless of who he fought. KOs are KOs, and I think he felt the power. We could see he was heavy-handed. There was danger in those shots, and Quiroga was just doing what he was doing, man. He's a rhythm fighter, just like I was when I was fighting. I had a very similar mindset and style to Quiroga. I threw a lot of combinations. I had a great conditioning. Here we see finishing strong. Even in the 10th round, Quiroga was really pouring it on.
Yeah, Quiroga looks like he could have gone 12 or 15. I mean, with his conditioning there.
His conditioning and his experience and how relaxed he fought all night long.
Yeah, very impressive from Ramon Quiroga, and we will see if the judges think the same. I suspect that they will, but you never know. We will get the official decision very shortly here in Cordoba. Remember, this is the co-main event. Coming up after this, we move up to middleweight in 160 pounds, 72.5 kilos. Sebastian Papeschi will be taking on Diego Carmona in another matchup of Argentine versus Mexican fighters. Here's the official decision.
Es decisión unánime.
A unanimous decision.
Tarjeta del señor Enrique Ferrero. 99 a 90.
No,
Tarjeta del señor Argentino García. 96 a 93.
96-93.
Tarjeta del señor Carlos Villegas. 98 a 91.
91.
Yes. Ganador.
The winner.
Por puntos en fallo unánime.
Points by unanimous decision.
Campeón Fede Latin categoría mosca.
The Fede Latin flyweight title champion.
El hormiga de Orán. El hormiga
the
de Salta.
Hormiga de Orán, the bug, the fly of Orán. Ramon Quiroga wins the fight by unanimous decision. All 3 judges scoring the fight in favor of Ramon Quiroga. He improves to 6-1 with 2 knockouts in hands. Efrain Rodriguez, his first loss of his career. He is the WBA Fede Latin flyweight champion, and deservedly so.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to see those scorecards any other way. 96-93, a little too close for my liking, but 99-91 made sense. 99-90 and 98-91 both made sense in my eyes. That's about what I gave Rodriguez 2 rounds, plus the knockdown for Quiroga. I mean, it's not going to be a close fight. It shouldn't have been.
Yeah. Efrain Rodriguez, even though he picked up the loss, I think he showed well of himself. I think there's some things he can improve on, but does have a good future ahead of him. Coming up next here on proboxtv.com, your boxing channel, the main event for the IBF Latino middleweight title between the Argentine Sebastian Papeschi and the Mexican Diego Carmona, scheduled for 10 rounds. This should be exciting as well. Two heavy-handed fighters. We look at the tail of the tape, and 19 wins, 4 losses for Papeschi, 7 by knockout. He's 7 years older, 4 inches shorter. Does that make a difference in the fight there against Carmona?
4 inches sure does. Height,
yeah.
Height matters. This is a boxing match. It starts in opposite corners, so range really matters. 4 inches is a big height disparity.
So here is Diego Carmona of Ciudad de Mexico, Distrito Federal, nicknamed Maravilla. He comes in with 13 wins, 1 loss, 11 wins by knockout. This is going to be impressive here, middleweight. Diego Carmona in the red trunks and black gloves. You think he's fired up for this fight? He looks like he's ready to go.
He better be fighting on the road.
Yes.
You got to bring it.
This is a big fight for Diego Carmona, coming in on a 6-fight win streak. And of course, Sebastian Papeschi, 32 years of age, known as La Promesa, 19 wins, 14 losses, 7 wins by knockout. Sebastian Papeschi. And he's got supporters here as well. The La Promesa de Luján. Luján is where he's from in Buenos Aires. The Promise of Luján. I like some of these names. Yeah, Quiroga's the Fly from Oran, and now you have this one, La Promesa. And you could just see from you can see the size advantage there for Carmona.
Yeah, Carmona is very big, very tall for a Mexican fighter.
Almost 6 feet there, 5'11" on the tail of the tape. This should be a good one here. These two big fighters here, and we'd like to remind you that we will do keys to victory in this fight in a few minutes here. Just a little bit, in a few minutes here on proboxtv.com is Sebastian Papeschi going up against Diego Carmona. Round 1 underway here. The IBF Latino middleweight title on the line. Sebastian Papeschi in the black trunks with the Argentine flag on the side, going up against Diego Carmona with the red trunks, the green and white on the side. Red gloves for Papeschi, black gloves for Carmona. Carmona kind of the opposite color scheme of Efrain Rodriguez from the last fight. And early on, Papeschi throwing some big blows here. Last fight for Sebastian Papeschi, October 21st, 2022, when he fought at 168. 8th round TKO over Jairo Ariel Rayman. Meanwhile, Carmona, over a year since he's fought, July 16th. That was in Panama City, Panama, not to be confused with Panama City, Florida. And he scored a 2nd round TKO against Adir Sanchez.
And for those of you at home tuning in, do not adjust your screen. We do have a rare Southpaw versus Southpaw matchup here. Both guys fighting out of that Southpaw position. Carmona, the taller of the two. And actually, he looks like the physically bigger man tonight. He's not just taller, he looks physically bigger as well. He came out with a very nice jab to open up round number 1. Papeschi putting on a lot of pressure, though.
Oh, we're coming off a very active and entertaining flyweight fight in which Ramon Quiroga picked up the victory by unanimous decision over Efrain Rodriguez. The first of Argentina versus Mexico here in Cordoba. We'll see if Argentina can make it 2-0 tonight when it comes to the co-main event and main event. Papeschi has Carmona on the ropes.
We're about 50 pounds north of that last fight. So we're probably not going to see as many punches thrown. We are going to see a little more power, though. You see these guys both look physically strong. They're looking to set up big shots like that one right there from Papeschi.
And so that means when we have bigger fighters, more power, the possibility of a spectacular knockout.
That's why we tune in, right? That's why we're here.
Yeah. George DeMattelis alongside Chris Algieri. Thank you very much for joining us here on proboxtv.com, your boxing channel. It's Probox TV in association with Samsung Boxing and Theo Box, presenting this tremendous fight card from Cordoba in Argentina. Some of the best talent from Latin America. Carmona with the right hand there, sneaking through the defense, then tries to double up to connect with Papeschi.
You know, we're early here, but it's obvious that both these men's psychology and strategy has been carved out. You're seeing Carmona fighting from the outside, using that jab, using his height, his reach, his physical advantages in the ring. And you got Papeschi, who's coming forward. He wants to be inside close. He wants to put his head in your chest and bang away with both hands. He's been launching some really nice right hooks. But then there you see Carmona popping the head up of Papeschi whenever he gets inside.
And leaning on the ropes there to try to maybe get some leverage. Less than 10 seconds remaining here in this first round of this middleweight bout between Diego Carmona and Sebastian Papeschi. And it ends as we present the keys to victory for both of these fighters. Beginning with Diego Carmona, stay off the ropes, although he was on the ropes toward the end of that first round. Be aggressive and use the jab.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a taller man. He's got a 4-inch height advantage. He's got a reach advantage. He looks like he's a good boxer too. He's smart. He was sticking with that jab. He was being consistent when he was on the ropes. So that's what Papeschi was putting up that pressure. Next, you got the home crowd advantage. Take advantage of that. So pinning your man on the ropes is a good idea. You're going to get those crowds get behind you. I mentioned in the fight earlier. That can help with the judging. Stay focused. You got a guy in front of you who's going to be boxing. You got to stay focused. You got to stay disciplined. And then lastly, close the space. Obviously, you got an opponent who's a lot taller than you. You want to get in the inside. I had mentioned how he wants to put his head on his opponent's chest and bang with both hands. He's got a nice right hook that he would flash in the first round. Hasn't been able to land it yet, but that's going to be an important weapon as this fight rolls out.
So how does Papeschi, who's a smaller, has a lesser reach, how does he get inside and avoid that length of Carmona? I
always say the smaller man has to jab with the taller man. Jab your way in. Just because you have a reach or a height disadvantage doesn't mean you should throw out the jab and just go to power punches. You should jab with him, try and offset your rhythm, mask your movement on the inside so you don't take any damage that you don't need to take.
Diego Carmona, as I mentioned before, 6 game, you see? Still in the soccer mind, Chris. I got to get out of that. 6-fight win streak. 5 of those wins have been by stoppage. Meanwhile, for Papeschi, 4th consecutive fight scheduled for 10 rounds. So he's starting to move up into the later rounds or fights with higher numbers, for lack of a better term, and test his fitness.
Nice jabs flash by Carmona. He looks like he's got heavy hands too. He landed a couple left hands on the gloves of Papeschi, and it set him down in his stance and put him on his heels. Carmona's got some good pop.
11 of his 13 wins have come by way of knockout, so definitely has the power in his hands.
I'd say speed advantage would be in Papeschi's court. He's been flashing some good combinations, good fast hands. He landed a nice sneaky body shot moments ago. There we see a double, triple jab from Papeschi. And there we go, the shorter man trying to jab with the taller guy. Smart.
So you figure he's this shorter man, so maybe he's quicker. Maybe not the hands, but the body movement could be quicker, so he can elude those jabs of Carmona and get inside along with the jab.
Yeah, I think Papeschi actually has the faster hands too. He's letting his hands go nicely. He's being aggressive. You know, you'd mentioned that he had been 10 several times, so he's got the experience advantage as well.
There goes the jab, one of those keys to victory for Carmona. And tripled up on it, 3 times up on it. Hook.
Oh, big left hook upstairs from Carmona.
Papeschi getting through. There's the jab you mentioned there, Chris, to get in and cover that space. Less than a minute here in the second round, and both of these guys are dropping some bombs right now, or at least trying to land some bombs.
I mean, it looks like to me, Papeschi has the right idea, but Carmona understands what he is. He's tall, he's long, he's got good pop. He's timing a lot of those. There's a good right hook as well. Again, Carmona's having a good opening first 2 rounds here.
Both fighters not afraid to exchange here. Trading jabs, and it's unique. You mentioned 2 southpaws there. What's, in terms of the angles, it's a little bit different, especially for those of us watching, compared to an orthodox and a southpaw.
Well, I mean, there's no advantage for either man, because normally the southpaw has an advantage over right-handers because there's so many more right-handers, so you're used to boxing with righties. And a lot of times there's a disadvantage for the orthodox fighter because there's not that many southpaws. You don't have as much experience. Now, these guys probably don't have much experience with southpaws, so it really doesn't aid either man.
Which means we're up for a good even fight. Then.
Yeah,
that's what it means. Yeah,
seems like it so far.
Yeah, we're into the end of the second round, and I think still a little bit of a filling out process from both fighters there. But who you got so far after the first 2 rounds?
I like Carmona so far. I think that he's been utilizing that jab very well. He's been timing the on rushes of of Sebastian, and he's landed some good shots. Seem to have an effect so far.
Diego Carmona receiving some instructions in the corner, holding his own. Carmona nicknamed Maravilla.
Segundos.
Like the great Argentinian fighter.
Yeah, Sergio Martinez.
That's the man.
Most famously known for that knockout one punch where he dropped Paul Williams. I mean, he lullabied him there. That might be what he's best known for. Third round here in Cordoba, and Sebastian Papeschi in the black trunks with the Argentine flag colors on the side. The sky blue and white, and Diego Carmona, the Mexican, in the red with the black gloves. Red trunks with the black gloves.
It just kind of came to me about Papeschi's style. He's kind of pesky, even though his name is Papeschi, but he's pesky in the way that his approach in this fight. He's coming in with that double, triple jab. He's in your face. You know, he's making that noise. He's got a lot of movement. And Carmona, much more reserved, more relaxed, finding his jab, looking for his timing, looking for his spots. This could be an interesting fight to score, because what do you like? You like the guy who's busy, or you like the guy who lands a little fewer and far between?
Carmona landing that right hook, and as our colleague Paulie Malignaggi would say, it's Papeschi in Italian, so Peschi, Papeschi, there you go.
A lot of Italians in Argentina.
Yes, sir. And less than 2 minutes here is...
Oh, big left hand from Carmona. Again, it's the timing. He catches Papeschi as he comes in, as the taller man should.
Still trying to utilize the jab there is Papeschi, and Carmona. Like the way Carmona kind of evades some of the punches, dodges, is not much. It's not a lot of exaggerated movement. It's pretty.
Nothing wasted.
Right. Exactly.
No, nothing wasted.
Exactly.
I call that no fat. There's no fat on the punch when there's nothing shown, nothing wasted. Oh, big right hook swinging, partially blocked.
There goes Papeschi changing levels. They're going to the body, then going to the head.
Ooh, good overhand left from Carmona once again. You know, the effort is coming from Papeschi, but he's not getting a whole lot done in my eyes. Carmona, again, fewer and far between, but seems to be being obviously much more efficient, but having more success with his style.
There goes the jab by Papeschi connecting, and then Carmona ducking a couple of punches.
Oh, big overhand left. Best punch of the fight so far.
That certainly caught Carmona's attention.
Nice double, triple jab there from Carmona.
Carmona's hands appear to be low, so maybe that leaves him susceptible to that left hand again there. A little low the hands, maybe.
A lot less experience for Carmona, but definitely that man knows his way around the ring. He knows how to box. He knows what his game plan is. But he needs to be careful not to get outworked and get hit pulling out straight, just like that.
Yeah, that right hand connecting there by Papeschi. And I think the action is starting to get better and better here. And don't forget, September 6th, Wednesday night fights. Co-main event from the Probox TV Event Center in Plant City, Florida. Radovoy Hot Rod Kalajic against Mickey Ellison. That is going to be a fantastic, fantastic fight. And we have some great shows here on proboxtv.com, including my favorite sparring sessions with George Jakovich, Chris Algieri, and Paulie Malignaggi. Here's a little taste.
Throw salt in the wound, I see. All right.
They're adding insult to it. Insult to the injury. Is that Wilder is not going to be non-committal. He's going to throw that right hand behind it, unlike Kalanius, and he's going to be able to hit Joshua with that, especially at that middle distance range.
And no, he's on a better path. He's on a more destructive path. He hasn't been beaten. Let's remember, Pacquiao also took some losses early in his career, then kind of went onto a rocket phase. You know, he was kind of inconsistent at first. I had two cups of coffee today before this. I was ready.
Sparring sessions on proboxtv.com. Did you agree with the judge's decision on the last show, Chris? When,
I actually don't remember. We've been filming so many, I don't remember which one that was, honestly.
I think the last one, Paulie got you by a point at the end there with our referee slash judge, George Jakovic there. Got to knock him out early when the sparring session's there. Round 4 here on proboxtv.com. George DeMatteis alongside world champion in boxing and kickboxing, Chris Algieri, and live action, or excuse me, this is a great fight here in Cordoba, Argentina as round 4 underway. Sebastian Papeschi in the black trunks with the sky blue and whites, the Argentine flag on the side, and the Mexican Diego Carmona in the red trunks with the black gloves. 4th round of this IBF Latino middleweight championship fight here in Cordoba. And so far, it's been Carmona holding his own. Papeschi maybe starting to improve here as we get into the later rounds.
Yeah, I had Carmona coming out strong in the first 2 rounds, was boxing well, using his jab. But that 3rd round, Papeschi was finally able to get close enough to land those big shots, namely a big overhand left and a right hook as Carmona pulled out. Best shots of the fight so far. But here comes Carmona. I mentioned Carmona has the heavier hands, man. He does have some power on those shots.
Carmona teeing off a little bit there.
Oh, big left hand over the top again. Ooh. And back comes Papeschi with the left hand.
The right hand there connecting in.
Oh, nice shot. That right hook to the body. I had mentioned that early in round number 1 from Papeschi. That's been a nice sneaky shot that he just slides in there.
Halfway through the 4th round, he has to continue to go to that, right, to kind of maybe lower the hands, then work the jab.
Well, I like the consistency from Papeschi so far. He's stuck with the jab throughout, whether it's been successful or not, which I think is really important. There you see him, he went for a feint, Carmona bit it. And then that right hook to the body, which he's landed several. I think the consistency of Papeschi and the effort is starting to wear on Carmona here as the rounds wear on. Oh, good jab. Ooh. That's that jab that I talked about. Yeah, nice punch selection there.
Starting to get through the defense there of Diego Carmona.
Oof, good combination. Ooh. Finishes the body, comes back with a hard jab. Nice, pops the head back.
Yeah. Well done by Papeschi. And that gets a rise out of the crowd here in Cordoba.
Yeah, I mentioned the word effort. That's really what it is. It's the effort on the side of, left hand. Papeschi, there's a big overhand. And back to the jab. I love the consistency.
And you know what? I think Carmona is starting to bleed from the nose here, as this definitely has been a round in favor of Papeschi. Less than 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I gave Papeschi the last round. I thought he stole it with the big overhand left and right hook combination. This round he's winning big. But I gave the first 2 to Carmona. So this is, you know, if Papeschi wins this round, you're looking at still an even fight.
It's starting to even out a little bit here.
Oh, big overhand.
Starting to even out here. Big round here for Sebastian Papeschi. Taking that 4th round with some big blows, some hard shots, and now we see the nose bleeding, the blood coming out of the nose of Diego Carmona. Take a look at that best action from the 4th round.
And nose is bleeding from those jabs. Papeschi landed some really stiff, hard jabs that were popping the head back of Carmona. Lucky that last shot missed, but Papeschi, really nice round, letting his hands go, throwing combinations, very smart with his punch selection, but always back to that jab. Consistency has been a key element of Papeschi's style so far.
Yeah, we saw in the previous fights that the cut above the eye and how it could affect the vision, but how does the blood in the nose? I mean, obviously it's going to affect the breathing. That makes it just 10 times more difficult going forward in a fight that could go the distance.
If anyone who's ever had a bloody nose while still competing in something, you're going to understand any blood that you see on the outside is going to be double, triple that on the inside. So you're swallowing that blood all night long. Ooh. So any blood you see coming down from the nose is going down the throat as well.
And I don't think there's anything the corner man or cut man or anything any doctor can do.
You can throw adrenaline up there if there is an actual cut in the inside of the nose, which can help with the bleeding. But I mean, you're out there getting punched over and over again. The blood in the nose is tough because also it blocks your airway. So you start breathing out of your mouth, then your jaw's open. Bigger risk of injuring your jaw with an open mouth.
And the effectiveness of Sebastian Papeschi's jab coming
nice
into play.
Nice jab to the body there and back upstairs. Definitely found a home for the jab. You mentioned, George, what does a shorter man need to do to get inside? It's the jab, and Papeschi has been doing that brilliantly the last 3 rounds.
And one of the keys to victory was for Carmona to stay off the ropes. Well, he was on the ropes there. He finally escaped, but...
Yeah, look at him. He's putting himself on the ropes.
Yep. And it looks like maybe Papeschi's walking him down a little bit as well.
It's on the strength of that jab. Once the shorter man starts out jabbing you and that's your weapon, you're the taller guy, you're in a world of trouble. Nice stab jab to the body there. Oh!
Right hand.
Actually, a left hand because they're both southpaw. But Carmona came back with a right hand that just missed.
And Papeschi, you could see, I think once he discovered that the jab could be effective, then everything else opened up for him.
That was a nice setup there. He did a stab jab down to the body. Then as Carmona moved out to that left side, he faked the lead left hand and then came back with an overhand. Lead right hand, came back with an overhand left hand that just missed.
As Carmona uses his jab to try to get through the defense of Papeschi, but Papeschi, once again, getting Carmona on the ropes. Or at least Carmona, for lack of a better term, volunteering to go on the ropes.
Yeah. Papeschi, the smaller man, the shorter man, but he's coming on with effort and bringing a lot of pressure, throwing nice combinations, and he's in great shape, it seems. Oh, good overhand left.
Combination here on the ropes, says Papeschi.
Carmona does not want to be on those ropes.
Oh, and now the pressure, the big shots coming by Papeschi as he's got Carmona on the ropes. The Mexican escapes. But the referee saying don't push. Another round in which Papeschi's starting to grow in and find his range. Less than a minute remaining in this 5th round. Both fighters stepping into the ring looking to become the IBF Latino middleweight champion. Body shot there by Papeschi. Oh, and then the left to the head there.
Going to the body is going to be smart from Papeschi. You see Carmona slowing down a lot in these last couple rounds. We had mentioned the blood from the nose, how that can hinder your breath. So going to the body is going to be a smart move. You got a guy who's starting to slow, and we're only halfway through now. Putting himself on the ropes, that's usually a sign that the fighter's legs are tired. Let's see if Papeschi can capitalize more than he is.
Yeah, Papeschi's starting to
good right hook.
Yeah, connecting more and more with the right hook and the body as well. Well done by Sebastian Papeschi in the 5th round. Is the tide is turning. If it hasn't turned already, it is turning in favor of Sebastian Papeschi, and Carmona on the ropes a little too much, I'm sure, for his corner's liking in this 5th round.
Depending on how you have it scored, I mean, I have Papeschi going ahead now 3 rounds to 2, but I mean, the momentum is certainly in his court. He's been putting a ton of pressure, landing big shots. We've got blood from the nose of Carmona, and Carmona just looks to be tiring very, very quickly. He doesn't have the same snap on the punches they had earlier. He doesn't seem as confident in his style anymore. We've got a long way to go in this fight. Let's see how it plays out.
I think those jabs in the 3rd and 4th round, blooding the nose, you talked about the effect it's had on the breathing. I think that has been a major reason why Carmona has slowed down. And it appears, too, in the first couple of rounds, Carmona standing maybe a little more straight up, more erect, but now as the fight has progressed, he's ducking down a little more. Maybe that puts him in range, makes it easier for Papeschi to hit him.
Yeah, well, Carmona has not been able to maintain his range anymore. He was able to out-jab Papeschi early, but now Papeschi has closed that distance to the point where now he can land his power shots, the overhand lefts, the right hooks, the body shots. Everything seems to be working for Papeschi, and it just came off his jab. He started out jab the taller man. We saw another jab in the middle there, and he's been very consistent with his work.
Papeschi
just missing with that overhand left.
He has fought 12 rounds before. Actually, he fought 12 rounds before back in November of 2018. And he won a unanimous decision against Christian Rios. That was almost 5 years ago, but it's not foreign to him to go the distance in double-digit rounds.
Carmona has made a decision to stand and fight in this round. You can see it. He started out this first minute, I'm going to say, in the center of the ring. He didn't put himself on the ropes like he has the last 3 rounds. He's standing his ground. He's throwing bigger shots again. Let's see if he's effective here.
There's Diego Carmona. Well, one of the keys to victory was stay off the ropes, and then in the 5th round, spent a good chunk of that round on the ropes.
And took a beating.
Yeah, he took a beating.
Oh, big overhand left from Carmona. Catches Papeschi on the way in.
While the tide is turned in favor of Papeschi, still has to be careful because Carmona does have some power. He can't leave himself open though.
Yeah, Carmona, he does seem like he has heavy hands. He looks like he can punch. You could just see it on the body of Sebastian when he hits him, moves him around. And he's just a bigger man. You can see it.
Papeschi coming in with the jab and then tried to go with the left cross there to connect, just missed. Wild right hook there by Carmona. Less than a minute here in this 6th round.
Nice uppercut. Sneaky shot there off the rear hand from Papeschi.
Does well there, Papeschi, to avoid the double jab of Carmona.
Textbook slip and slide on the way out.
Good exchange there by Papeschi.
No, we saw in these last 2 fights, these Argentinos, they can box, man. Papeschi's showing some nice little moves in here. They can box and they're in shape.
Yeah, both him and Quiroga still look fresh. Quiroga, the winner of the previous fight here on proboxtv.com, 10-round unanimous decision over Efrain Rodriguez in the flyweight division.
Carmona was having a good start to this round, but Papeschi's coming back strong. Tough round to score.
Both fighters toward the end of that round throwing some big shots here. It's round number 6. A pretty even round, and when Carmona doesn't go on the ropes, Chris, he's able to exchange there and hold his ground.
You know, his size, his physicality, and his punch allow him to stay in the fight when he stays in the center of the ring. But when he backs himself up against the ropes, he gets tall. He becomes a bigger target. It takes the power away from his punches, and now he's not jabbing anymore. So he really has no business being on the ropes because he was having some success on the ropes by using his jab in the first 2 rounds. But when he's here now, it's just Papeschi with his combination punches, little sneaky shots like that that's winning the day when his back does touch the rope. So he really needs to stay in the center of the ring. He tried that in that round, had a better round. Not sure he won that round, but definitely landed some of his own punches well.
The top 5 especially is really a certain specific group of people that, you know, really dominate the sport.
It's a discussion topic. It's basically a barbershop talk, you know, and I know a lot of people, especially guys who are fighters, don't love these because it's.
Now I'm seeing Bud Crawford on newscasts. I'm seeing him on morning talk shows. I'm seeing Bud everywhere. And Paulie, it's nice to see him finally getting the recognition that he deserves.
ProboxTV.com, your boxing channel. We are about to begin round number 7 of this IBF Latino Middleweight Championship fight between Sebastian Papeschi, the Argentine, and Diego Carmona, the Mexican. Papeschi turning the tide in his favor, I think, after the 2nd round. The 3rd round is when Papeschi started to, I wouldn't say control the fight, but look better, look more like he's going to win this fight. As Carmona in the red trunks with the black gloves, and Sebastian Papeschi, black trunks with the Argentine flag colors and the red gloves. 7 of a scheduled 10 rounds in Cordoba, Argentina. ProboxTV.com putting on this fight in association with Samson Boxing and Theo Box. The 2nd matchup between Argentine fighters and Mexican fighters. The first one, Ramon Quiroga winning a unanimous decision to claim the Fede Latin flyweight title over Efrain Rodriguez.
Nice level change combination there from some Papeschi. Throws a left hand down low, came back with a right hook upstairs, landed both punches quite well. Good boxing here to start round 7.
It looks to me like Papeschi's getting more and more confident now. He's throwing more combinations than he did in the earlier rounds.
I think he feels the energy level and the aura of Carmona coming down. Also the power. The power and the punches aren't quite the same as they were early on. So Papeschi's probably more comfortable taking risks, staying in the pocket more. He's not as worried about what's coming back. Good left hand up top from Carmona on the way out.
Papeschi going to the body, and Carmona goes to the body. It's interesting to have these two southpaws going against each other. Yeah, good headshot there by Papeschi connecting.
And you can tell by the movement of Papeschi that he's used to fighting orthodox fighters and moving to his right because he's moving into that left hand. He's always boxing, always circling out to his right, where normally that would keep him invisible. He'd be outside the lead fighter's foot. But when he's fighting a southpaw, he's walking into the power of Carmona's left hand. There it is.
Good exchange there, and then Carmona Even though he's maybe a little hurt because of the bloody nose, he's still throwing some big shots here at Papeschi.
Yeah, you know, he's definitely still throwing heat, and he's trying to win this fight. But the problem for me, in terms of scoring for Carmona, is just the consistency of Papeschi. He's coming back with that jab. He's throwing combinations. He's moving around the ring. Nice body shot there from Carmona. And then right back comes Papeschi. And they both trade jabs.
Papeschi's jabs have been rocking the head of Carmona throughout the course of this fight. Those are some hard jabs coming from the right hand of Sebastian Papeschi.
Yeah, hard, clean, sharp.
Yeah.
Double, tripling them up. I like what I'm seeing from Sebastian. He's boxing very smart, very well. He knows what he is in this fight. He's the combination puncher. He's the jabber. He's going to fight on the outside. When he's on the inside, he's going to try and bang away with both hands.
Sebastian Papeschi.
I think early on, Papeschi was trying to be the puncher. He was trying to get on the inside and throw the bombs. I think he got hit with some big shots. Was like, all right, let me go box this guy a little bit.
It's worked out well.
It has worked out well since then.
So the round in the books here, and I'm guessing it's another round for Papeschi, as he is in control, or at least in my view, he is winning this fight. Obviously, you don't know what the judges are thinking, so we will see what happens. But a good round for Papeschi, and Carmona, the blood in his nose has to be affecting him. Everything seemed to change once his nose got bloody. Yeah,
that's a good point. I mean, it could be the nose, it could be conditioning, or it could be a combination of the two. But Papeschi's gas tank has really been winning the day. I keep using the word consistent. He's been very, very consistent with his game plan after round 2, and it's been working well.
Sebastian Papeschi coming into this fight, 19 wins, 4 losses, 7 wins by KO. And even though it's been a while since he's fought, his last fight was in October of 2022. First couple of rounds was the ring rust, and now he's getting into that flow, into that rhythm. Round number 8 here of a Schedule 10 for the IBF Latino Middleweight Championship. Sebastian Papeschi, the Argentine, in the black trunks and the Argentine flag colors with the red gloves, and Diego Carmona with the red trunks and the black gloves. Carmona dealing with blood in his nose, but still throwing some hard shots, and Papeschi there with the jab and the combination. Another jab that rocks the head back there of Carmona.
Yeah, Carmona, I just need him to do more. If I'm his corner, I would be imploring him to let his hands go. When he throws, he has good success, and he's got power still, and his punches are affecting Papeschi, but it's just Papeschi's always asking. I mentioned a few rounds ago, not to be disrespectful, but he's pesky. He comes right back when you touch him, when you hit him. Keeps his hands moving, throws combinations, mixes up high and up and down.
I think pesky is a good adjective, a positive adjective for a fighter. Pesky, want to be persistent. That's the case here, is Carmona looking in and then just straight jab there. Once again, the nose, the blood streaming from the nose there of Carmona. I think Papeschi sees that and is exploiting that.
Oh, nice combination there, body head. Puts that little throwaway jab to the body. Ooh, good overhand left from Carmona.
Good exchange there. That rocked Papeschi backwards.
These guys are back and forth this round.
An uppercut there by Carmona. Carmona going to the head with the left hand.
Good round here for Carmona. It's still a very even round. A minute left to go. Very much still up in the air, but Carmona doing a lot of good work this round. Much busier than he's been in the last couple of rounds.
And he's going to have to step up the action there, increase the pace.
Good feint there from Papeschi.
With Papeschi figure winning those middle rounds, Carmona has to capture these last 2 or 3 rounds in order to maybe win. Ooh, left hand up. There's Carmona on the ropes. Left hand connecting by Papeschi.
Heavy shot to that bloody nose of Carmona. Again, when his back is on the ropes, he doesn't have any defense for those shots. He gets tall. He loses his power.
And less than 30 seconds here in the 8th round. Carmona just standing there and goes with the left, misses. Missing with that big right hook. Ooh, good. the head back there by Papeschi.
Good round.
Ooh.
Oh, there's that big overhand left that we spoke about. While Carmona's back is against the ropes, he just has no defense for those shots. Look how tall he is. He's tall. Carmona gets his head, Papeschi gets his head down, throws that overhand left, lands it beautifully. A lot of the good work that's been done has been done while Carmona's back against the ropes.
Hey guys, make sure you tune in Wednesday night fights here on Probox TV. We got great action fights, 50-50 matchups, and all-out wars throughout. We have consistently put on the best fights around.
Good fighters, great fights on your boxing channel with a star-studded cast bringing you the fight. Myself, Chris Algieri, the former world champion, and of course Mike Goldberg.
So make sure you tune in Wednesday night fights for all the action.
As Goldie likes to say, here we go.
This Wednesday, September 6th, live from the Probox Event Center in Plant City, Florida, it is Wednesday Night Fights, featuring Hot Rod Radovoy Kalajic versus Mickey Ellison. Get your tickets at proboxtv.com or take your chances at the door.
Wednesday Night Fights.
Yeah, Wednesday Night Fights. It's going to be something special there from the Plant City Event Center, or Probox Event Center in Plant City, Florida. And some good fights here on your boxing channel. Sebastian Papeschi on the left and Diego Carmona on the right. And we're about to begin the 9th round of this 10-round fight for the IBF Latino Middleweight Championship. And right now, I think Sebastian Papeschi has the advantage. I wouldn't say it's a big lead, but it's a good lead for him to just finish off this fight. We'll see what happens over the next couple of rounds, as Diego Carmona has shown some big power, just as you mentioned, Chris, just hasn't been consistent to really threaten Papeschi over the course of this fight. But you never know. It's boxing. One shot is all it takes.
I like Carmona's body language to start this round. He's coming to the center of the ring. He looked to throw a big overhand left immediately, but that nose immediately is bleeding.
And it looks like Carmona with his hands is protecting the noses. The guard has gotten a little tighter to the face there.
It's not a good sign when a guy comes out of a round. Hasn't even been hit yet, and there's blood coming from the nose. That means that nose has been leaking in the back of his throat.
Ooh. The fact that Carmona is dealing with that and is still on his feet, putting up a good fight here against Papeschi shows how strong he is mentally, how tough he is.
And Papeschi's smart here. He's going to the uppercut. You hit that already damaged nose with a few uppercuts. That's only going to make that situation worse.
Yeah, with the two punches that really affect the nose the most are which ones?
The uppercut and the jab.
Jab? Okay. Yeah. See, I'm still learning the game myself here.
A lot of times it's the punches that come from a lower position. That's why the uppercuts are so dangerous. But also, you got a guy who's throwing up jabs from that hip position, like where a lot of Papeschi's punches have been coming from. Those shots really hurt.
There goes the jab there.
Double, triple jab.
Carmona responds with the right hook, and then Papeschi with the right hand of his own and overhead with the left. Connected to the chin to the side of the face there. And
good body shot there from Carmona and a good overhand left. Good shots here from Carmona in round 9. Letting those hands go finally.
Ooh, and then the left hand by Papeschi.
And Papeschi, not to be outdone, comes right back. Throws his own combination. Beautiful left hands.
How about that? Dodging a couple of punches there by Carmona. Papeschi showing some good head movement and body movement.
Yeah, Papeschi's feeling it here. He's really got his rhythm working here in round 9.
What's it like when a fighter is feeling it and you got that confidence going? You know everything or almost everything you throw is connecting and nothing the opponent is throwing is hitting you. What's that sensation?
That's the flow state. He's in his flow. He's got his movement going. He's a rhythm fighter. You can see it. He's more of a boxer. He's out there. He's got his guy's number. He feels like he's ahead, it seems. And he's just letting his hands go, having fun. Big overhand left from Carmona, though, along the ropes. Papeschi still needs to be careful. He's got a dangerous guy in front of him.
And Carmona fighting himself off the ropes. And Diego Carmona, the Mexican, still trying to throw and drop some bombs. There's the left hand by Carmona connecting, then Papeschi with the combination of his own.
Nice upper body rhythm there from Papeschi. He's keeping that upper body moving, firing from his movement.
Less than 10 seconds remaining in the 9th round here. And Diego Carmona responding, but Looks like Sebastian Papeschi may have won that round, but Diego Carmona showing a lot of heart in this fight.
And you saw Carmona, you heard him actually. He had that frustrated at the end of the round there. Man, this guy's got everything. He's pouring it on, and he's feeling it with that blood from the nose and probably fatigue here late in the fight.
Yeah, the highlights from the best action from that 9th round. You can see that, yeah, leading in with the left there, connecting very well on Carmona.
Nice lead, left hand there, splits the guard of Carmona right down the middle to that damaged nose. Good round for Papeschi. Carmona stood his ground, threw some combinations, landed some good shots. But Papeschi, the consistency, the combination punching, the hand speed, and also just feeling it, man. He had his rhythm that round.
In the previous fight with Quiroga and Rodriguez, we talked about Quiroga unmarked in the face. And same thing with Papeschi here in this encounter against Carmona.
Well, George, you know what really stands out both these fights and both these Argentinian fighters? Conditioning.
Yeah.
They are both supremely conditioned. They're outworking their man from the middle rounds on.
10th and final round of this IBF Latino Middleweight Championship fight. Sebastian Papeschi, the native of Luján, in the black trunks with the Argentine flag colors of sky blue and white, and the red gloves, and Diego Carmona, the Mexican, in the red trunks with the black gloves. And Sebastian Papeschi, I think at this point just has to, that left hand coming in.
Big overhand left, and then right back to that jab, that consistent jab all night long. I love the fact that he's gone back to that, hasn't let that punch go at all, even when he lands big shots.
And then he connected with 3 jabs in a row there, rocking the head of Carmona. I think at this point, Carmona might need a knockout in order to win this fight.
I mean, he is a power puncher. He's been setting up single shots, but he just hasn't been able to put enough together to win these rounds on my scorecard. But you know, he's still a dangerous guy, like I mentioned in the last round. Ooh, nice sweeping right hook from Papeschi. Catches Carmona on the way out.
Yeah, Papeschi doing well. There's another combination by the Argentine. And closes guard there when Carmona lunges in.
Yeah, Papeschi not boxing as much this round as he was last round. Here he gets on his bicycle a little bit, uses a little bit of lateral movement, level changes, angles from the outside.
Yeah, by Papeschi there. Doubling up with the right hand.
Low blow there from Carmona, very low.
Yeah. And now Carmona has Papeschi on the ropes. Swinging wildly, trying to knock out the Argentine. Papeschi swinging back. Fights himself off the ropes. That gets a rise out of the crowd here in Cordoba. And now Carmona on the ropes. Papeschi with a flurry.
Papeschi doesn't want to give up anything. Doesn't want to give any ground here in the 10th round. Answered immediately with his own combination.
Yeah. Papeschi doesn't know the scorecard, so he has to make sure he doesn't get knocked out here or doesn't lose this round. A good flurry of action there. Both fighters absorbing some punches on the ropes. Less than a minute remaining in this fight.
I got the feeling that Papeschi said, forget those scorecards. This is about machismo, bro. Let's go. You're not getting anything over me.
Yes. At some point, the pride comes in, right? The male ego, macho ego comes in and says, no, I can't get knocked out like that.
Well, there's always the Argentina-Mexican, you know, a battle as old as time when it comes to boxing.
Yeah.
You're not coming to my hometown and beating me.
Carmona avoiding some punches on the ropes there. Papeschi comes in with that left hand. Carmona almost responds with a big left hand of his own.
Papeschi, though, still moving his head, still in great condition. Moving smoothly with good energy levels here late in the 10th round.
And that ends the fight. Mutual respect from two warriors and gladiators in the ring. Sebastian Papeschi and Diego Carmona go the distance. We will see which one of these fighters will be crowned the IBF Latino Middleweight Champion. As you take a look at the best action, some hard shots from both fighters here in this 10th round.
I just love the fact that Papeschi lands that big overhand shot and then goes right back to the jab. Here we see Carmona, pretty much his last stand of the night, letting his punches go when he had Papeschi pinned against the ropes. Landed some good shots, but Papeschi comes right back. Put Carmona on the ropes moments after that, let his hands go as well. Not to be outdone, not to be one-upped. Great fight, good action back and forth, and especially from Sebastian Papeschi, who was consistent. That's the word that comes to mind when I think of his performance tonight.
And we will see if Argentina makes it 2-0 against Mexican fighters here in the Quorum Cordoba Hotel. in Cordoba, Argentina, the land of the world champions, the World Cup champions in football. I have to say that, or else some of my Argentine friends will be very angry with me.
Hey, we got a lot of boxing world champions too, so don't forget that.
Very, very true. A land of great athletes for sure.
There we go.
We take a look at the best action from the entire fight, round 4. I think this was around 3rd round and 4th round were the rounds that maybe turned the fight in favor of Sebastian Papeschi.
Yeah, I thought Carmona started very strong in the first couple rounds, but Sebastian Papeschi, man, the consistency, the work rate, the jab was such a vital weapon for him. And once he found that distance, once he closed the distance behind the jab, he was able to land some power shots like that. His punch variety, his changing of levels, his rhythm, his timing was just different. And Carmona, when he was on the ropes, man, he was a sitting duck for big shots like that one. Big overhand left that rocks the head of Carmona. And just the gas tanks were different, right? The conditioning of Papeschi was a big story, a big plot line in the story of this fight as he was getting stronger as the fight wore on. Carmona, maybe because of his conditioning, maybe because of the travel, maybe because of his nose.
Yeah.
The conditioning was a big issue as he threw less and less as the rounds wore on. And you really started to see the separation of the two based on that. Here we see some big overhand shots back to the jab from Papeschi in that 10th round. Really was finding a home for those weapons. Carmona fought well. He's a Mexican. He fought with machismo. He tried to come back. He tried to make the fight swing in his favor. But in my eyes, that was a fight that Papeschi looked fantastic. Boxed really, really well, really smart, and had great conditioning, landed some big shots throughout the night.
And to your point, Chris, when those jabs started to connect with Papeschi, that's when the nose started to bleed, and that changed the entire complexion of the fight. Beautiful IBF Latino middleweight belt. Who will it go to? Will it be Sebastian Papeschi or Diego Carmona? Here is the official decision.
Fallo del combate. Tarjeta del señor Jorge González.
Jorge Gonzalez scores the fight.
100 a 90.
99.
Tarjeta del señor
90.
Carlos Villegas.
Carlos Villegas.
100 a 90.
100 to 90.
Tarjeta del señor Enrique Ferrero. 100 a 90.
190.
En decisión
All three
unánime.
judges. Unanimous decision.
Es ganador por puntos.
The winner.
Y se consagra
decision.
campeón latino de la
The
Federación
IBF
Internacional de
Middleweight
Boxeo en la categoría mediano. La promesa, de Luján. La
Sebastian
promesa
Papeschi
argentina.
wins. He is the IBF Latino middleweight champion. And he improves to 20-4. 7 wins by knockout. Deserved winner there. And decisive on all 3 judges' scorecards.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to look at it any other way. I mean, Papeschi was dominant, especially after those first couple rounds. And even rounds where Carmona had success, Papeschi just came right back and was able to take those moments back and take the round as well.
And Sebastian Papeschi did very well. And Argentina, they go 2-0 against Mexicans in this card. And Cordoba, well done to Sebastian Papeschi. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an eventful night. Fantastic boxing action on proboxtv.com in association with Samsung Boxing and Pale Box. We appreciate you watching this presentation of live boxing here on proboxtv.com, your boxing channel. On behalf of the fantastic people behind the scenes and Chris Algeri, I'm George DeMattelis. Thank you for watching this special presentation of proboxtv.com, your boxing channel.
Yeah.